So one of the most difficult topics that comes up in therapy is sexuality, and most particularly variance in the expression of sexuality. So Freud in the early 20th century talked about kind of a number of different ways in which sexuality can vary. Now, the two most common that we think about are we think about what Freud called variation in respect to the object and variation in respect to the aim. So when we talk about variation in respect to the object, what we're talking about is generally homosexuality, heterosexuality. It's the variations in sexual orientation. It's about the person that you're going to choose as a sexual partner. Now, on the other hand, when we talk about variations in respect to sexual aim, it's about the practice of sex itself. And that, I think, is one of the things that we still see a lot of shame about in the therapy room. Now, in terms of those variations in respect to sexual aim, one of the things that they used to be called perversions. And that's a really, really loaded word. Somebody says perversion or pervert, there's a really strong negative connotation to it, which is not helpful at all, because there was in, I suppose, the psychological field up till quite recently, the thinking that anything that wasn't, anything that wasn't strictly within a very narrow view of normal sexuality was considered to be a paraphilia or a perversion, and people were, kind of treated and in attempts to cure people of these disorders. But of course, now you understand that it is not, strictly speaking, a disorder, and there's not, strictly speaking, anything wrong with it. There's nothing inherently disordered about a variation in respect to the aim in terms of sexuality, because in the vast majority of people there is some variation, and we can explain and understand a lot of the variations, and there's no need to actually do anything about them, with obvious exceptions where somebody might come to harm. But in general, kind of in terms of therapy, it's broadly accepted that everyone's into something.